All right, guys. My focus is on driving. So in this state, this is actually illegal for me to hold this phone and say anything because it's a distraction. And I'm sorry for that because it's technically a sin probably to break the law like this and film while I drive, right? Technically a sin. It is a sin. So I'm calling myself a sinner right now, and I'm engaging in sin. And I should pull over maybe. But I'm going to job hunt. But anyway, the point is that I'm making today, nothing to do with that. I'm out getting lunch and dropping my wife at work and all these things. And I'm just noticing everywhere I go, I'm seeing like gay dudes everywhere. And I never noticed that before. And I'm not talking like people who you're like, wow, their gender, they're wearing acrylic nails and all this stuff. That doesn't mean they're gay. But I'm telling you, the total package, you can tell. They get the fake gay lisp, which I have probably I get this thing going, like sometimes I get a fake Boston accent. I mean, it's part of our personality that we're developing. And the thing is, it's conscious plus subconscious, and it comes out. So like there's this fake gay lisp that they get, which one of my favorite comedians, Doug Stanhope, called it fagginess. They have fagginess. And I don't find that offensive to say, because I don't really have a term for it. Maybe prissiness. But I don't dislike these human beings. I love them. I just think that like when you're walking around and proclaiming, I'm gay, I'm open for business, like we know that sexual sin is an abomination, literally an abomination in the Bible. So that tells me if they're being exposed and they're proclaiming to be Christians and all, then they're just blatantly sinning in the face of God, right? That's bordering on apostasy at that point. Because you know what you're doing is wrong if you read it and you're still doing it. Kind of like me driving, right? It says that I'm supposed to honor my authority placed around me. So if that makes me a hypocrite, and that means I can't preach this, I don't believe that, because I think we're all hypocrites. I'm breaking the law right now. I think we sin a lot, all of us. But the thing is, I'm noticing this sin, and I want to point it out so that people know what to work on in themselves, You can point my flaws out, and I'll try to work on them. Like, dude, trust me, if I got in a car wreck right now, they'd throw the book at me. He was on his phone. I would definitely have to work on it then, wouldn't I, from a cell? I'm telling you, this is not my norm. I love making videos while I drive. Don't get me wrong, I really do, because it gives me something to do from point A to point B. But my whole point here, I'm helping out by saying, dude, you're doing something wrong, right? And if they don't know, then they're in a state of ignorance, and I need to proclaim the gospel to them. That's literally the only solution I see. And it's becoming so culturally, like, it's taken over. It's like parasitic. How is that? Even if you obviously believe in evolution, right? You do. Most of these people subscribe to like hard science, and they think spirituality is fairy tale, fantasy. But let me tell you, if you subscribe to evolution, the only way this is evolutionary evidence for evolution, it'd be feasible to me if the planet is done with us and we're headed towards extinction, because we have too many of us. We're taking all the resources. We're trying to take them all for number one, myself. So we're becoming homosexual as a culture. It's insane to watch. And there are herbicides in our foods that actually contribute to this. Google it. I mean, even Google, it's completely biased towards the left, and they still let those articles fly. You just got to find them. Go look it up. Herbicides, different chemicals in our food that are contributing biologically to people turning gay. And I can honestly say that's true, because when you start getting this crap in the environment, you're seeing weird hermaphrodite animals and gay behavior in animals. This is real. None of this is false news, guys. This is real. I'm telling you. I went to college too. I'm not woke, okay? I'm not woke. I'm not asleep either, okay? I'm just a human being like the rest of us. None of us are woke. None of us are superior. And if I'm wrong about something, dude, and you present me a ton of evidence, hey, like, a bunch of homosexuals is really good for reproducing. Prove it to me. Because I think we do need to reproduce, but I think the right people do. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe this is evolution, and microevolution is a real thing, or survival of the fittest at least is a real thing. And maybe a bunch of idiots are selectively dying naturally by natural selection because their theology or their doctrines or whatever they're coming up with is so ridiculous that there's no way that a loving God would let them reproduce. So now they're indoctrinating our children with the same crap and trying to take children from loving homes who do try to instill loving morals and God into the children. And they're saying that's indoctrination and the child's too young to make a choice. I'll tell you what, a child is too young to make a choice. So you make it for them. You make the right one, and you make it in love. You don't cut their genitals off. You don't give them hormone blockers. You don't sterilize your own child. Dude, what if right now, I give my child a ridiculous face tattoo because, they saw it in a movie and they wanted to look tribal? What if I did that? Like, are you cool with that? Oh, he wanted it. Kids don't know what they want, and that's why there's an age of consent. We should probably raise the darn thing. We should probably say, hey, we're all obviously idiots. Can we, raise adulthood to happening at, 35 after you stop smoking weed in your mom's basement? Can that be a thing? Can we start taking away these stupid freedoms from people, in the right way, instead of saying, I'm going to take your free speech, I'm going to take your child and cut his penis off, make it a vagina, or he'll kill himself. And it's permeating the culture so heavily in the United States. I understand why Hamas wants to form a jihad and take this thing out. And I'm not even a radical Muslim. They're like, this is ridiculous. You got people literally peeing on God. You're literally spitting in his face. Do you don't think that enrages someone who actually believes? Dude, the Spirit, we have the Holy Spirit. We're getting fired up, dude. I'm telling you. I'm not going to take up arms because I'm a Christian. But there are Muslims who went the other path, on the radical side. Not all of them. I got some Muslim friends who are really peaceful too. There might be some radicalized conservatives out there, some redneck coming out of the holler, all right, I'm killing him for Jesus. And dude, you guys are playing with fire, I'm telling you. We're on the brink of World War III and a civil war at the same time. If you're woke, I'm telling you, wake up. It's not a farce. This is not going to end in peace. I'm telling you. What you do in your own home behind closed doors is great. Do that. Don't tell anybody. Don't bring it into schools. Don't bring it into libraries, public spaces. Telling kids that it's totally normal for them to not want to reproduce and to have genitals shoved into holes that aren't meant for genitals to go up. That leads to infections. I'm supposed to pass waste out of that thing. So maybe you're human waste and you're trying to go back in there where you belong. I'm just saying, your body sucks. Your spirit's wonderful. All right? I love you. I'm telling you the truth.